Whoa! Where my Asians at? OMG! Oh yeah. Okay, I don't know where to stand here. Okay, let's do a tangga kind of thing. No, okay, let's have Zoe in the middle. Reshma Martin. Hi. Wow. My adrenaline is pumping still right now. Oh my God, that was really awesome. Thank you so much for coming down. How are you?
Thank you so much for having me. I'm good. Thank you.
Good.
Real grateful to be here. Real awesome to be a part of this.
All right, now I can hear the New Zealand accent.
Yes,
oh no!
She's been there for a
Tapi masih boleh cakap bahasa Melayu.
There you go.
Sebab orang Malaysia.
I love how you were like, sebab Malaysia with a thumbs up. So we're so happy to have you. I'm personally very, very happy to have you back.
Thank you.
You left to New Zealand for how long now?
It's been about 3 years.
3 years, right?
3 years,
wow.
yeah. So it's been a good minute. It's so good to be back.
Exactly.
Right.
So while you were in New Zealand as well, you kept yourself busy. So if you guys don't know, you don't follow her on social media, she was actually part of a singing competition while she was there. So can you tell us a little bit about, what happened, your experience there?
So in New Zealand, the one
in New Zealand.
Yep. So I was part of a competition called Pop Stars.
Okay.
It was a New Zealand reality/singing show. I made it to the top 25, then immediately after that, I decided to release my first ever English single. So
nice.
Yeah, it was a real cool experience. One of the judges was Kimbra, who is an idol for me as a singer, like such an awesome person. And so it was real cool to be able to upskill and learn from that experience. Yeah.
So share with us a bit of the difference, because again, you were also in a reality singing competition before in Malaysia, and now you've tested those waters down in New Zealand, being half Kiwi right now that you are.
Full Malaysian.
So share with us the difference. I mean, the experience that have actually brought you after going through those different types of competitions.
Sure. Well, I think the main thing that I took away from competitions is that it was a free way to upskill myself in the music industry. So before entering the New Zealand music industry, because I had a career in Malaysia and then I moved overseas, right? No one knows who I am. So I thought, what's the best way to gain insight on what the industry looks like than to just throw myself into another singing competition? So I decided to do that. And, I think that the industry over there in New Zealand is a little bit more low-key, a little bit more chill, a little bit more indie in that sense. So I'm definitely bringing a lot of that gempa Malaysia vibes over there. And all of my music now is currently about being Malaysian. So I'm really excited to bring that over there.
Yeah, and how is that, being an Asian or Malaysian in New Zealand and having to pursue music there? Because I'm pretty sure it's slightly different, because like here, at least you have support of, your fellow Malaysians. That I don't want to say you're essentially alone, but you do have to be independent.
But she was.
Yes, you have to be independent while you're there. And I admire all your things that you were doing there.
Thank you. I think it's cool because there is a huge Asian community in New Zealand. And the best part about releasing songs about being Asian or being Malaysian is that I get to share with others who maybe don't necessarily know where I'm from, the beauty of where I'm from. And I think it's important to have those conversations because, essentially someone once asked me where I was from. Then I said I was from Malaysia.
All right.
Guess what they said next?
Where's Malaysia?
No.
Twin Towers?
No.
Are you sure you're not from India?
Close, very close.
Right?
They were like, which part of India is that?
Really?
And I was like, okay, I need to scratch everything I've done in my music career. I need to start making songs about being Malaysian because it's too beautiful and too awesome to not know about.
So how did you educate them in that sense? Because again, it must have been a slap in the face for you. I mean, like...
No lah. I mean, I understand. Like, I don't think people are ill-willed in that sense. I just genuinely think it's a lack of awareness.
No, what I mean is like on the music front. I mean, like what kind of things that you actually brought with you within that competition to make you?
Sure. So I think my newest single now, Where My Asians At, literally talks about that. Malaysia is so diverse. And as people in Malaysia, we learn each other's little lingo and their little slang. And so I wanted to incorporate that in the songs that I was releasing. So Where My Asians At uses Tamil, uses Mandarin, uses Malay, English. I thought it was a real cool way to introduce people to the pressures that the Asian community face wanting to be in the creative industry from the get-go, and then also doing that in a Malaysian way.
Yeah, and that's why I think one of the lines that I was like, what? It was like, you mentioned something, you're not Gujarati, right? Because that's actually a conversation that also came about.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, so how was that, at what confident level were you like, I'm going to put this down so people know exactly?
Yeah.
Nah, it's just because so many people assume that I'm Gujarati. And I don't know if it's like a new thing that like people learnt the word and were like, oh, Indian, that's why she must be. And I'd rather people just ask me.
Yeah.
Plus, like, just disclaimer, I've shown this to a lot of my Gujarati friends. They've cleared the song. They know where I'm coming from. Yeah. So it's not, there's no
ill will. It's just to inform people.
100%. I'm like, I come from a place in the world that has a lot of people. But I'm not Gujarati.
No, it does take a bit of education. Sometimes whenever Malaysians go out, when we want to try to make a name out of ourselves, I mean, like, again, you're experiencing it like phase on how sometimes it can be a bit of a challenge, but it's fine. It's more pleasing, I guess, for someone to be able to tell that story. Well, actually, Malaysia is great. We are diverse. That's what you're saying in your song.
Yes, it's always about asking instead of assuming.
Sure.
And I think, that's why my song is called a question. Where are my Asians at? Question mark. Let's talk about it.
So what's the response been so far for, because I remember when you released it, I was like, this is a banger. This is what I'm gonna put on my morning song, my hype song whenever I go for competitions or I compete. This is like, I'm like, where are my Asians at, man? Because it has that sense of, especially with Asian representation now being such a huge importance. What was the response like for you personally?
It kind of kick-started my career in the New Zealand music industry.
I love that.
So because of this song, I have been offered a Pan-Asian music grant in New Zealand where they're sponsoring my next single release. There's that. It got mentioned in the New Zealand music charts. There's been a bunch of like just on-site like promotional opportunities in New Zealand. And like I say, I come from this like perception of I'm completely new there. So the fact that I've only been there for 3 years and have had these opportunities through this song is just awesome. And so I guess it goes to show that, you just stay true to yourself and you release music that you love and that you're passionate about. It'll take you places.
People respond accordingly as well. I love it. I love it.
Yeah, I'm loving
and the choreo, dude.
And the choreo. I mean, like, we literally just saw a few clips of her online. You can check out on all her socials and everything. It took me a couple of seconds, like, okay, that's her, right? That's actually her.
That's her.
So one thing I do want to ask you, Reshma, is that the fact that you were in New Zealand for 3 years, you were in Auckland, right?
Yes.
So you learned the traits a bit there, you tried to make a name out of yourself, you've learned so much while you were there. Coming back to Malaysia, what are the things that you're bringing back to Malaysia for the Malaysians? Any difference or any kind of knowledge transfers that has stuck with you that you do want to share with us?
So even in Academy Fantasia days, I was always bilingual. I would speak a bit of Malay, a bit of English, a bit of Malay, a bit of English. Whereas Academy Fantasia was known for being in Bahasa Malaysia, right? And I think being in New Zealand has helped me to commit to that identity a bit more of code switching in my art. And so I'm able to mix those languages better and be more confident doing it. So I think that's something that I've definitely brought back to Malaysia, is just this confidence of at least trying to learn more about the languages that are around me, taking the time to speak to the people and gain their perspectives so that I can then put that into my music. So I think it's awesome to just have that sense of confidence.
I love that. And like knowing your identity as well. Like you said, like, where are my agents at, man? I want to talk a little bit about the choreo as well before we run out of time, because the choreo is actually done by Rina Che. Anybody who knows the K-pop scene, she's a huge choreographer. So
she's a fan. She's a fan.
How did that collaboration happen?
So we reached out to her, showed her the song, and she was just super graceful about it. Explained what needed to be done, and we just went off with it. Like, honestly, I think it's because she really, really enjoyed the song that she came on board with so much talent and her incredible dancers as well. And like, just to name drop a little bit, Rina Che, such a legend. She is choreographed for Beyonce. She's choreographed for Justin Bieber, and then there's little old me just being like, hey sis, like, help me please, because from AF times I haven't had like a reputation for dancing. They used to call me Balut.
Yeah.
So I was very like,
You're very known for your vocals, right?
yes, but not my dancing.
All right.
So if anyone could convert me into a pseudo dancer, it would be Rina.
So you transformed just
She transformed me. Trust and believe. It was definitely her process that made this work.
I know. When I saw the clip that I was like, saw you dancing, I'm like, what? She's dancing?
Wow.
Yeah.
Everybody said this.
I was like, yeah.
Right.
Everybody said this.
I loved it. I loved it. So what is next for you? What are your? So you're gonna be here for only about 3 weeks.
Yes.
What are your plans while you're back here in Malaysia?
Sure. So I'm gonna be visiting. I'm gonna be visiting all my family, all my friends, and I'm gonna go and see a little bit more of Malaysia and do some like out of KL work.
All right. So being a tourist.
Yeah, slightly. I was working the first whole week. Okay.
Sure.
So Langkawi, Penang, going to Malacca, going to do all the touristy things. Actually, now that you mention it, I just never took the time to do all those things while I lived here.
Yeah.
Right.
And so if y'alls are around, I encourage y'alls to go and visit the places in Malaysia, which you may not have the chance to go visit.
Right.
But besides that, I'm continuing to work on new singles.
All right.
I'll be dropping a new one pretty soon. I don't know how much I'm allowed to say, but I will say that...
Yeah, nobody's... Yeah. It's just between us here.
Okay, cool. No one's watching. So the next song is actually about a dessert that doesn't originate from Malaysia, but is popular in Malaysia.
Okay.
All right. So karipap, kuih keria.
First word, correct?
Oh,
Curry.
First word, kuih.
First word,
kuih.
Oh.
All right. So we got
kuih
the
bengkang, kuih kapit, kuih... Yeah, there's so many
but not from Malaysia though.
But not from Malaysia.
Yeah.
So it could be Indonesia. Okay.
Kuih.
Oh, okay. From Sarawak, isn't it? No. What was that? Okay.
Lapis.
Kuih lapis lah, betul lah.
From Malaysia. It's from Sarawak, guys.
Yeah, it's from Sarawak. It's part of Malaysia, yeah. We're saying out there.
Exactly. Just to clarify, kuih lapis is the traditional kuih or the traditional dessert that is served all the way from Sarawak. Just to clear that out, okay?
So yeah, we cannot play charades. I can't play charades anyway.
We tried.
We tried.
She went, I was like, but the stack ones are kuih lapis.
I thought she was doing her choreo just now. Like dancing with us right now, showing a bit of a dance move. That's definitely great.
Love it.
Socials. Where can people find you?
Sure. So everywhere on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. Spotify, Apple Music, it's all at Reshma Martin. Spotify, sorry, is just Reshma, but everything else is at Reshma Martin.
So you're on Threads?
Yes, I am. Yeah, it took me a second. I was like, oh, it's too new for it to register in my mind yet. I saw everyone doing it, and it was so hard for me to not commit.
Yeah, FOMO, right?
On Threads.
Maybe it'll be my new Twitter. Who knows?
Yeah.
Or it could be the old Clubhouse. We don't know. These things come in and out. So musically this year, are you gonna go back to New Zealand and release music there? Are you planning to come back here and perform?
I'm planning to do both actually. As much as I can, I want to be based in both worlds.
Okay.
However, like as of right now, I am based in New Zealand. But I will come back a lot more.
And the genre is still the same?
Pop, yeah, definitely like commercial pop. I call it alternative pop because in New Zealand it's not considered like normal to hear songs like this.
Okay.
This is all very out the gate. People are a lot more chill.
Oh, really?
And I'm just there like, hello!
Right, coming out loud and proud and just like
100%.
announcing yourself.
100%.
Nice.
So before we close off the show, maybe you can also share to our audiences, if you want to shout out any of your fellow New Zealanders.
Sure.
Any musicians you want to recommend to our audiences. Who are you currently listening to?
Ooh, okay. So am I doing like a whole introduction thing? Or?
I mean, it's up to you. You want to introduce a couple of musicians, any of your friends?
Cool. Kia ora, apa kabar? I'm Reshma. Some of my favorite artists currently is Ursha Island. Ursha Island's a really cool like Chinese Kiwi duo. They do some really awesome stuff. Of course, still listening to Kimbra, still listening to the good old Amy Winehouse. I'm a good old classic person. So go check them out. Go support their music. Yeah. Awesome.
And any chance for you to do some collab with any local New Zealanders out there?
I am so keen. So I've got a couple of demos in the pipeline. It's just about when and how. And I'm excited. Yeah, I think it'll be real cool to mix those different worlds together, literally with different artists.
Yeah.
Got some collaborations in Malaysia as well lined up.
All of that. With who? Can't say. Oh,
Can't say
we can
yes.
do that charades thing.
Shirley reveal the kuih lapis. This should be part of your next career.
Yeah, exactly. And then
lapis.
special mention, ZOOEY and MEOR on Fresh Brew because it's originating from here.
Kuih lapis.
Now
kuih
you know.
lapis.
Now you know.
All right, super awesome.
That's super awesome. We can't wait for all of the great things that's going to be coming out from you, Reshma Martin,
so much.
out there. And there's a lot more to talk about. And this is definitely just the first steps of you.
Yes.
A long way to go.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah?
All right.
I think so. Yeah.
All right.
I thought you were asking me. I'm like, maybe. Yeah.
Confidence.
Yeah.
All right. So thank you again so much for coming
you.
on the show.
Thank
We
you
wish
so
you
much.
all the best of luck